let's stay in the state of Kentucky and let's head to Lexington, just a couple of hours down the road from Louisville. Tennessee at Kentucky. This is a pretty big game for the pecking order in the East. Both teams sort of teetering right now. Critical stretches of their season coming up for both of these teams. And one of these teams could end up as a 9 or 10 win team, and one of them could end up sort of tumbling down the stretch. And this is a critical game. I think we said in the summertime that this game could decide second place in the East. It looks like it's more like third place, but it's still going to be a massive outcome. 3.5-point favorite for the Tennessee Volunteers, who have largely dominated this rivalry, even when Jeremy Pruitt was the head football coach at Tennessee. This was an extraordinary game last time in Lexington. I am curious about the mental makeup of both of these teams. Kentucky and Tennessee, I think Tennessee showed a lot, actually, in a loss to Alabama. Joe Milton played the best half maybe of his career against a pretty tough defense on the road. I thought it was a good game plan. Josh Heupel entered that game with a pretty sound strategy. I thought they did a really good job. They just they couldn't handle it, and they're not good enough to beat Alabama. They got outcoached, outplayed. Some fourth downs went the wrong direction. Kentucky, meanwhile, hasn't shown a lot other than the Florida game. And both of these quarterbacks, frankly, Devin Leary and Joe Milton, are two of the least efficient quarterbacks in the conference. But both have really good running games, both have pretty interesting defensive lines, and both have very questionable secondaries. It is sort of a very similar matchup. I don't know where they are at mentally. It's a rivalry. It's Tennessee on the road. I have no clue what is going to happen in this game.
Same here. I think, first of all, to your point about home field advantage, Kentucky demolished Florida at home, and this game is at home. Kentucky's off an off week. This is now Tennessee's kind of third big showdown. They played Texas A&M, been on the road to play Alabama. So I think emotions and kind of where these two teams are is sort of a kind of the X factor here. But it is interesting when you start breaking down this game, how similar these two teams are. I mean, both offensively, it's Ray Davis and Tennessee's running backs that lead the way. They've got talented receiving cores that have been inconsistent this season. Defensively, the fronts are pretty good, and the secondaries are questionable. And they have quarterbacks who are very talented transfers, but also very inconsistent, and one for Kentucky who has not played well at all this year. So I think that's kind of the storyline when you're trying to figure out who you like in this game. Do you think Devin Leary takes that step forward, or do you think Joe Milton builds on the first half performance against Alabama? That was a very encouraging first half performance against Alabama. I just would like to see that in the second half. So this one's a toss up to me. I like home field for Kentucky, but I think when you kind of look at the series, even though these two teams are even, I guess I trust Joe Milton in this spot in Tennessee.
Can't believe that's a sentence that
I know
any human utters. I trust Joe Milton more than the other quarterback, but it's true. Not only has he been a little bit better than Devin Leary, but he also is coming off his best showing. The question is, to your point about Tennessee, that the intangibles here are Kentucky off a bye with 2 weeks to prepare for a rival that has gotten their lunch most of the time. That's motivating. Versus a Tennessee team coming off two back-to-back very physical games against two very talented teams in A&M and Bama. How much do you have left in the tank versus are you riding high off of emotion? There's so much there for Tennessee. I just don't know where they're going to be. I think it's Josh Heupel's job to sort of level that out and level set. He's been very good about that with this team. They've got big games with Missouri, big games with Georgia coming up. So they still have a long stretch to go here. This is a huge one for Tennessee to define their season. I think they go up there and they play well, but I think Kentucky's they're up for it as well. I think this is last drive, last play, maybe a pick six, maybe a special teams mistake. The game 2 years ago, I think, was 46 minutes time of possession for Tennessee, and just huge for Kentucky, huge plays for Tennessee, like left and right in that game. I don't think we're going to see that. I think I just trust Tennessee's offensive line and quarterback just a little bit more, and that's sort of why I'm leaning Tennessee. But I'm not even going to make a pick. I'm not even picking any. I don't know. I don't have any clue.
Last three games in Lexington between these two were one-score games, and of course Tennessee has won 9 out of 11. So if you're big into the series trends and all that, it says to take Tennessee here in a close one.
There you go. I agree.